Welcome back, players. Based on the performance of my last video, there seems to be a lot of interest in Emerald Amber at the moment, particularly the lady in the Tramp Aggro. With that in mind, I've decided to start a series of weekly episodes, going over the changes I've made to the deck, what works, and my thoughts on the deck moving forward. Since my last video, I have made a couple changes to the deck list, so let's go over those quickly, starting with the 1-drops. Alright, so let's start off with 4 ladies, 4 daisies, 4 Nala, 4 Prince John, 2 Pegasus, and 1 Merryweather. For the 1-drops, my newest additions are Pegasus and Merryweather. Pegasus is a great card. It's evasive, and it's really hard to reach unless your opponent has turn 1 Bell and turn 2 Storm, which is very likely in the current meta. But if they don't, Pegasus will stick around for quite some time, and its survivability is why it's in this deck. Now, another great addition is Merryweather. At the moment, I'm running 1 copy, but this card performs so well that I will probably be increasing this to 2 copies. And here's why. In my previous deck list, I was relying too heavily on Tramp. I would turn 1 Daisy, and then hopefully my opponent turn 1 Spell, and I would turn 2 Lady, and then turn 2 Tramp to buff Daisy, and then take out the Bell. Right, that's the ideal play for this deck, but now you don't have to rely on Tramp so heavily. Now you have Merryweather, which reads, when you play this character, you may pay 1 to give chosen character +2 strength. So exactly the same way as Tramp gives the Daisy the buff, you can then turn to Merryweather, buff Daisy, take out the Bell. That's the idea behind this, and it really performs well, and I will probably be increasing this to 2 copies. Like the 1-drops, we have also made a couple changes to the 2-drops. What hasn't changed is the 4 Tramps. We have increased the amount of Ursulas we are playing. Being able to rip the songs out of your opponent's hands before they can use it to take care of your cards is pretty essential, so we've increased that to 4. We are still running 4 Piglet. In the previous video, we were running 3 copies of Lilo. I've decreased that to 2. And I've also added 2 copies of Go-Go Tamago. Now, this is essential because we need instant lore. Like the Amethyst decks out there that are running White Rose, Giant Cobra, or Goat, we need cards to give us instant lore, and Tamago is our only option, but it is a great option. Alright, for the 3-drops, we are still running 4 copies of Captain Hook, 4 copies of Dale. A new addition to this deck is Perla, which we are running 2 copies of. This is a 3/2 with evasive and support. Now, just like the way Tramp and Merryweather help us boost our characters to get rid of threats, Perla, the idea behind Perla is the exact same thing. Perla will quest for 1, give something +3 strength, and then it can remove some threats like Calhoun's, Bells, and other 3-cost cards, even Smees. And then we are also running 2 copies of Cloud Kicker to bounce threats in matchups where your opponent may not be running blue. You can bounce some cards with this and just help you get control of the board a little bit. Alright, so the 4-drops have essentially stayed the same. We are still running 4 Rapunzels. We have decreased the amount of Luckies we are playing. I have noticed that when Lucky comes out, he's pretty much a kill on sight. But he still performs pretty well, so I'm still running 2 copies of him. Okay, so for the 5-drops, we have increased the amount of ladies we are playing from 2 to 3. I think that's a great number. Anything more than that, and you're just having dead draws. And then we've also added 2 Shift Line Pegasus. Pegasus is a great addition. We are running the little one. We're running 2 copies of each, which I think is pretty good and enough. Pegasus shifts in. If you can shift it in, it gives your characters evasive. Otherwise, it's just a big body, hard to remove evasive character that quests for 2. Alright, so for the last two cards of this deck, we are running 2 copies of Remember Who You Are. Now, in my previous video, I was playtesting 99 Puppies, which I thought was pretty good and caught a lot of people by surprise. But I did notice that this deck struggles with draw power and relies too heavily on Rapunzel and Lucky to do the heavy lifting in regards to draw. And Remember Who You Are really changes that game for us a little bit. And it reads, if chosen opponent has more cards in hand than you do, draw cards until you have the same number. Now, with cards like Hiram being so prevalent in the meta currently, your opponent will always have more cards in hand, and we will usually dump our hand fairly quickly with this deck. And many cases, if you have Remember Who You Are, it's going to be the last card in your hand anyways. So if you play your cards right, let's say you have Daisy on the field, quest Daisy, hopefully they draw another card, then you turn 4, play Remember Who You Are, and you get to refill your hand quite substantially. And that could be a game changer for aggro decks, as there's nothing more dangerous in Lorcana than an aggro deck with a full hand. Alright, so I want to thank you all for the support so far, for all your likes and subscriptions. It really means a lot to me, and it really gives me the motivation to post more content like this. So until next week, where I post the episode 3 of this series, I will do my very best to post gameplay in between the videos, but I will definitely be making this a weekly series, so thanks again for viewing.